Hey, beautiful people! What is happening? So, as you can tell, I'm driving, so I cannot spend a whole lot of time looking at you, beautiful people. I kind of have to look at the road. But I just wanted to say that if you have been debating on whether or not you should go to an event, you should. That's all there is to it. You should. Going to events is life changing. Going to events can be business changing depending on the event you go to. But if you need an inspirational life change, a mindset life change, I won't say actual like motivational change because I don't really believe in motivation. There's things you want to do and then there's things you don't want to do, and motivation just really isn't a thing. It's about how you prioritize things. So if you have something going on in your life that you find as a huge priority, you're going to find a way to get it done. It also has to do with the energy you put with the assignment. So if you have something that excites you, that makes you happy, that gets you jittery and nervous, that's something you have high priority of because it gives you a an emotional boost, which gets you going to do it. So that's not motivation. That is, you have high priority or emotional priority locked to that thing and you want to do it. I just don't really believe in motivation, and even if I did, motivation don't last. What, you get a little motivational kick in the butt? It's like drinking coffee. You drink a cup of coffee and you're energized for an hour, maybe, and then you fall back off the map and you're like, oh, I'm done. I'm tired. I need more. Okay, but when you're driven, when you have high priority attached to something or high emotion attached to something, you just do it. You don't need a little kick in the butt. You need to just get it done. And that's how you feel about it. It's like, I gotta do this. I gotta do it. Like, I need to do it. I want that rush that comes from it. Or, I want whatever it is that action delivers. That's what you want. So that's what you go for. But it's always the things, a lot of the time, the really, really important things in our life that we should be doing that are going to bring the most results are not the fun things. They're just not. They're not the fun things. They're not the things that we want to do. Therefore, we don't do them. Or we don't do them as consistently as we should, or with the same amount of passion that we should. So, and I say this not just kind of throwing things at you. I say this as part of who I am. I mean, I've screwed up a lot of times and not did things the way I needed to do them, or I did them and the way I should. I was consistently doing it, but I didn't have the right energy behind it. And I just want to tell you, the people know your energy. They can feel it. They can see it. They can, hear it. So when you are extremely passionate about something, when you are highly motivated, like anybody that follows my stories, you 150% knew that I was stoked to meet Tony Robbins, to see Tony Robbins, to be in the same room with Tony Robbins. You knew it. You felt it. You seen it. It was written all over my face. It didn't matter that I had 2.5 hours of sleep. Tony said, get up and jump around the room like an idiot. I didn't care what people thought about me. I got up and jumped around the room like an idiot, no matter how tired I was, how stupid I thought it looked. I didn't care. I wanted to meet Tony Robbins so bad I was willing to do whatever it took to get close to him which means I upgraded my ticket, it also means I did the things he said to do. Fact is, jumping around the room looking stupid or feeling like an idiot and feeling like you look stupid, even though, well, 7,000 people were in the room, and almost all of them were doing it, except for there was this group of like teenagers that were too cool for school. So of course they wouldn't do it because, oh my goodness, what if somebody sees me? Anyway, that crap works. It works. Energy is emotion. Any kind of energy boost you have, you will notice that it comes from emotion. And emotion is just, I mean, those things are feelings that we have that you can't control. You might be able to control the way you outburst with emotions or how, but you can't control how your emotion makes you feel. If you're sad, you're sad. Now, you can choose to not cry about sadness, but you're still feeling it. You're going to feel it. If you're happy, some can, we're in a culture, in a society now where we're not supposed to celebrate ourselves. We're not supposed to be overly happy. And the people in the world that are overly happy, that just jump around and are always happy, we as a society tend to look at them like they're crazy. So, once upon a time, this was a world, and we were a society where we celebrated things, where when people had a major success, we jumped around and got all excited about it, or we just celebrated. We had a little party, family dinner, whatever. We celebrated our wins. We celebrated other people's wins. But now we're a society where we're so scared to hurt other people's feelings, and we're so scared of what other people think of us. We're just scared of it. I mean, honestly, if I'm in a good mood and music's playing and I want to jump around and dance to the music, would I not do that at home? In the privacy of my own home? Of course I would. I would. I do it all the time, and I know I do it all the time. I get excited, I get in a good mood, I play some music, I dance around like a crazy person, I sing, but I do it all in private. Why? Why? Why is it unacceptable, or why is it embarrassing or idiotic to jump up and down and celebrate just life, nothing else? Why is that so wrong? It's not. It's not. But the fact that society has taught us that it's wrong made me immediately say, the words came out of my mouth when I started talking about this, that I jumped around like an idiot. Those are my words. I remember saying them. So I sat here and said I jumped around like an idiot because in society, all of society has taught us to act a certain way. Well, it's time to stop acting the way society thinks we need to act, because the fact of the matter is, if you are going to achieve greatness, if you are going to do great things, then you cannot fit in with the others. You cannot go with the flow. You cannot fit in with the people in this world around you that are living mediocre lives. If you want greatness, you have to be great. And you have to do great things, not mediocre things. You have to do things outside the box that other people aren't willing to do. So why live in this tiny little box that they placed us in and told us that we were allowed to behave this way or that we were allowed to behave that way? I don't know how things got that way. I don't know how I got that way. I don't know how I got to ever caring what other people think about me. Because why do I care? Why do I care what other people think about me? We were in a room with 7,000 people, and most of them were jumping up and down and going crazy. And it was for a purpose, a reason. There was a lesson in it, not to show us that we care what society is, but that energy comes from emotion. And energy also comes from motion. Just like you hear, a body in motion stays in motion. Okay, so if we have the right emotions going on, and these aren't things that you have to have, you choose them. I choose to wake up and be happy. I choose to be high energy, because I promise you, you get nothing done in life if you don't have energy. And this is a world where I hear people tell us all the time, I'm tired, I'm so worn out, I'm so exhausted, I'm so this, I'm so that. And then you ask them what they did, and you know what they did? And this ain't bashing people that have office jobs or anything like that. I sit at a desk and I play on the computer too. So I'm not bashing you, I promise. But most people are so exhausted from working on a computer, sitting on their butt, working on a computer all day long. That's what exhausts us now. You know, back decades and decades ago, people woke up at the butt crack of dawn, didn't go to bed until right after the sun went down, and they were literally busy all day long, mending their land, taking care of their animals, you know, because they had to. They didn't have all the luxuries we have. They didn't have electricity. They couldn't just go to the grocery store and buy something. They had to grow it. They had to raise it and kill it, you know. So once upon a time, people actually did things. Our body is capable of so much more than we give it credit for. And I can prove that. Do something and be like, I'm doing my best. And I mean, you actually have to try, okay? Like, you can't say, oh, I tried, but I couldn't do it. But do something to the best of your ability. Like, all right, place your feet in front of you or side by side. Just stand up straight, put your feet in front of you, and just stand there with the feet together, you know, legs together, arm out in front of you like this, with your finger like this, straight out in front of you. It's kind of hard to do sitting down, but put your arms straight out in front of you like this, standing up with your feet totally together, and stand there for a second. And then, after you do that, I want you to turn your arm as far as you can. As far as you can around without moving your body. You can only twist your hips. You cannot move your feet. Don't let your feet move. And then, after you do it, turn back around and say, okay, I did the best I could do. But then say, I can do better. I can do better. And do it again. And watch you do better. Watch. Because we're always trying to beat our personal best. I mean, if we're the kind of people that want the most out of life and we want to do better each time, but we're always trying to do better. And if that's the case, then you've never reached your full potential. Never. Because you can always, always, always do better. And another thing you should know is that if you visualize it, like if you just doing that one exercise, if you closed your eyes and said, I can do better, and you looked and you felt it, you had to actually visualize it and feel it. You close your eyes, you visualize and feel it. I can do better. I'm going to turn more. I'm going to turn more. And you watch your body do it, and then you say, okay, I'm going to twist all the way, and I'm going to get 4 inches longer than I did last time. And you see that happen in your mind, and then you visualize it again and say 5 inches more, and you visualize that in your mind, like really see it. You have to picture it and tell yourself that. And then you open your eyes, you stand in the same position, put your arm back out, and you do it again. I promise you'll go farther. I promise you, if you truly do the exercise the way I just told you to do it, and you truly do it with all your might, to prove a point, imagine being in a room with 7,000 people. You'll do it then because you want to prove the point and you want to do it better than your neighbor did it. So imagine doing it in a room with that many people so that you'll really truly do it, and do it the way I said to do it. And I promise you'll see results. You'll go farther than you went the last time. I know because I watched a room full of 7,000 people do it. And every single one of them went farther than they did the first time. Because we have never reached our full capacity. Did you know that most people only reach 20% of their potential their whole life? 20%. That is sad and pathetic that we're only reaching 20% of our potential when we could be so much better. We used to be so much better. We were a society that worked all the time, and I don't mean sitting at a computer work. I mean, we really worked hard because we had to live off our land. We had to find a way. We had to make a way. You know, we had kids to feed, so we had to go out there and garden like real people used to have to do. They had to garden, they had to kill their animals, feed their animals, get them fat, kill them so they could eat them. You know, all this horrible, weird, crazy things that we don't like to think about now in this world. Because we don't have to think about it. People do everything for us, right? You can go buy your meat in a grocery store. You didn't have to grow that or kill it. You can go buy your vegetables in a grocery store. You didn't have to grow that or, you know, tend to it, keep the bugs off of it, go out there and, you know, make sure everything was... You didn't have to do none of that. You didn't have to make sure it had enough water. You didn't have to make sure it had enough sun. You didn't have to make sure you planted it in the right place. You didn't have to tend to it until it was ready. You just didn't have to do any of that. You went to the store, you bought it, so for one, you appreciate it less, and for two, you didn't do no work. None. But once upon a time, the people way before us, they worked their bodies. They pushed themselves to the limit. We now only use 20% of our potential. So imagine what could happen if you visualized doing 10% more. What you could do. Or if you visualized doing 20% more. Wow, what would that look like for your life? Doing 20% more. Not just because you wanted to do it, but because you have the energy to do it. Because energy comes from emotion. So choose to be in a happy state in your life. Find things that make you happy. Because happiness provides you with everything. It makes you do everything. Now, anger can get you to do a lot of things. But happiness pushes you further and further. Imagine what you would do. You know, just think about the difference of what you do when a new relationship starts. What would you do for the person that you're with in that relationship? In the first few weeks, months, when it's fresh and it's new. What would you do for those people? Now, 20 years later, when you're getting to the end of that relationship because you're letting it die, what are you willing to do for them? Like, basically nothing, right? But when you're in that happy, passionate state, you're willing to do anything, and you find the energy to get up and keep doing things to impress this person or to make that person happy. Anyway, I'm on a rant, and I have to get out of this car because I have to go in here and do what I got to do. But I want you to understand, guys, I just want you to understand that there is so much more to life than the 20% we're putting into it. So maybe maybe. Pull up your energy level. You know, you need energy to get things done. Real energy, not coffee energy. You need to train your body to be energetic. You need to train your body to have the energy to jump up and down over and over for hours. You need to train your body to have the energy to wake up at 6 o'clock and still be going at 6 o'clock in the evening. You have to train your body to do these things, but it starts in the mind. It starts in the mind with putting yourself in good moods, making yourself happy, making your mind happy. So do better. Just imagine what you could do with another 20%, even 10. Even 10. Just put another 10% out there and see what happens. Anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you guys next time.